Hey there guys, we just had the live stream for April, and in this video I'm going to be doing a very quick brief recap of the major points, but most of this stuff I'm going to be talking about on Tuesday during my news video with the guests that I have lined up. But real quick, I'll just talk about some of the surprise stuff from the stream. They announced that Rain and Fina are going to be next week, as we kind of expected. He's being named Flaring Aether Rain on Global, and he's getting some Clash of Wills upgrades. And they showed the details on screen, which I'm really happy about. I'll add him to my DPS spreadsheet with the global upgrades later tonight, maybe tomorrow, so we can compare how he does. But he's getting morale scaling and some cooldowns for Clash of Wills, which is pretty cool. We also got confirmation that his leader skill is not being changed, so he will buff all the Brave Exvius units by 500%, like we were kind of expecting, which is good. They also announced that the following week we're getting the Clash of Wills, as well as the Clash of Wills unit. Dark Knight Duane is our global exclusive unit for the month. He is not premium, he is not limited, and he's a fire unit. Even though he's called Dark Knight Duane, he's a fire unit. He's a true dual wield, sounds like a physical attacker. He does damage, etc. Here is some of his preview stuff. So in Clash of Wills only, he is going to have higher than previously possible buffs. So he can buff the party's LB damage by 350%, and he can buff the party's stats by 450%, which is, 50 higher than the previously possible buffs. Kind of interesting. His LB is a tag chain, and his SLB is modifier buffs. So that'll be interesting to hear more about him in the future. Unfortunately, his leader skill is only 300%. I'm not sure why Gumi likes to do this. They like to make the global exclusives with really bad leader skills. We're getting Flaring Aether Rain this week with 500% for Brave Exvius, while Duane is only getting 300%. Big sad face here. Although it is for Clash of Wills category, which basically means the near units. So Rain will not buff 2B in A2, while Duane will buff A2 in 2B. Whether it's worth making Rain or Duane your leader, I guess depends on the boss, depends on your units available. So Duane's leader skill might be worth it if it makes the near units strong enough. But for general purpose, Rain's leader skill is still way better than this one. They also previewed some STMR and TMR, and again, we're going to go over all this in a lot more detail when these come out for the actual in-game news. This is just a preview and a really brief recap. So he's a true dual wield unit, like I mentioned. His STMR is, of course, a weapon because, Global has no originality. It's weapons every single time. And there it is. And then his TMR is a helm. It seems like it'll be weaker than the Clash helm, but, it'll be good if you're not using the Clash helm on them. And the vision card is pretty standard. It is 100% true dual wield, which is nice. He's not a premium unit, so it's not, the 170 that the premiums are, but it's still a good vision card. And some other stuff in the live stream. The question and answer was one single question that they're just making a joke at the players at this point, because the question was, can we get better tickets? And the answer was maybe. Yeah, it was a complete non-answer. It was a completely goofy question. I swear, it feels like they do these Q&As at this point just as an inside joke to make fun of the player base. And I would say it's a little immature to do that and, kind of take the piss at your players with these goofy questions that they know are just completely nonsense, and even then they still don't answer the question. They give you a maybe answer. So just leave the Q&A out if you're not going to answer a real question. Come on. Anyway, the only other thing is there is going to be a fan Festa in Los Angeles. I think he said in June 25th, I believe was the date. I have to confirm, I forget. And the other thing, at the very end, they mentioned Konshira's STMR. They've heard feedback, and they're going to upgrade it, in a month. So they're not going to do it this month, but because they heard feedback, they will go back and upgrade Konshira's STMR next month at some point. So, on the one hand, I'm really glad that the community has spoken up about them skipping Konshira's STMR, and they have heard the feedback, so they're going to do it next month. I don't know why they don't do it immediately, but I guess it takes a month to add a number to an item in game. At least they're doing it. At least they're doing it next month. So again, tune in on my Tuesday news video for the much more detailed discussion. I've got a guest. We're going to go over all the cool stuff, and we'll talk about it more then. Oh, they also previewed the Clash of Wills boss for 2 weeks from now. But again, it's just like they showed the sprite. It's a moon, and I forgot to bring the picture up. Whoops. We'll see that in game very soon from the news. So, see you then.